Hi, I'm Dr. Jekyll. Today I'm going to present about the data description. The objective of learning this chapter are to summarize data using measures of central tendency and measures of variation, to identify the position of a data value in a dataset using measures of position, and to apply the techniques of exploratory data analysis to discover various aspects of data. There are four types of measures of central tendency, which are mean, median, mode, and midrange. And then for mean, there are two types of formula. So this is the formula for ungrouped data. This is the formula for group data. The difference is, for group data, we need to consider the frequency for each data. Let us see example 1. To find the mean for ungrouped data, we refer to this data. This data represents the annual chocolate sales for a sample of 7 countries in the world. To find the mean manually, you can use calculator to add all the numbers and then divide by 7. So in this video, I will show you how to use the Microsoft Excel tool to calculate the mean for this data. Now on the right side, I have copied the data from the slide, and then to find the mean for the given ungrouped data, we use the function average, and then you highlight this data, and then you get the answer. To find the mean for group data, we need to use the frequency distribution from the previous slide like this. So we need to consider the frequency and the midpoints for the given class boundaries. So to find the mean for this group data, we refer to this side, and then for each row, you find the product using the simple formula F times X, and then you can drag all the numbers for each row like this, and you find the total of product for each row like this. Next, you find the total frequency using the sum function, and then the mean for this group data will be this one divided by this one. Then you get the answer. For median, for ungrouped data, we need to arrange the data in order. Then we need to select the middle point. So let us see this example. For this case, we use odd data set. That means we have 7 data. So for this odd data set, we need to arrange this data in ascending order, and then you pick the number in the middle as your median. And then to find the median for even data set, for example, we have 10 numbers, then we do the same way. We arrange all the numbers in ascending order, and then we find the middle point. Since the middle point lies between these two numbers, 213 and 223, therefore we need to plus these two numbers and then divide it by 2 to get the median. Now to find the median for both cases using Microsoft Excel, let us see this side. So to find the median for this data, we can use the function median, and then you highlight this data. Then you get your answer for the odd data set. So this is the median. And then the median for even number, we do the same way. Use median function, and then you highlight all the data. Then you get the answer. Mode means the value or the class that occurs most often in the data set. Let us see this example. To find the mode for ungrouped data, basically we need to find out which data that occur with the highest frequency. To find the mode manually, we can use tally method. So for this video, I will show you how to use the Microsoft Excel to find the mode. So we refer to this side. So let's say I have copied all the data, and then to find the mode, basically we just use the mode function. Then we pick this one, mode for single array of data. So we double click it, and then we highlight the data, then we get our answer. To find the mode for group data, basically we need to refer the frequency distribution. We just need to observe which class boundary has the highest frequency, and that's your model class. Mid-range. Mid-range means the lowest plus the highest divided by 2. To find the mid-range for this data, which represent the numbers of borderline breaks per month, we just need to find out which one is the lowest and the highest numbers, and then you plus and divided by 2. Then you get the answer. Another one is the weighted mean. So this is the extra formula of mean. So weighted mean means for each data we need to consider the weightage. The application of weighted mean is to find your GPA. So let's say we have this situation. Okay, so you can read this slide later on when you post this video, and then you need to make a table from the sentence just now. And for credit, this is your weightage, and for grade you can decide for grade A as 4 points, and for C 2 points, B 3 points, and D 1 point. Basically these points represent the pointer. So for each row, you times the weightage with the grade pointer, and then you total up. And then this total you divide by the total weightage, then you get the GPA. Next, in this section, I will explain about the properties and uses of central tendency. For mean, basically we need to use all the values of the data. And then the mean also can be used to compute the variance. The value of mean is unique, means that different data set has its own mean, and the mean can be affected by the outliers. Therefore, if we have a data that has an outlier or outliers, then the mean may not be the appropriate average to use and to interpret the data. Next, median. Median is used when we want to find the center or the middle value of the dataset. Usually, we use this median to determine whether the data values fall into the upper half or lower half of the distribution. And then, the median is affected less than the mean by the outliers, meaning that the effect of outliers is lesser applied on the median. Mode is used when the most typical case is desired, meaning that if we have a data set and we want to find which data has the highest frequency, then we can use mode. And mode is the easiest average to compute and can be used when the data is nominal. But the mode is not always unique. It can have more than one mode depending on the data distribution. And lastly, mid-range. Mid-range also easy to compute and will give the midpoint. But the mid-range will be affected by the outliers. And then there are 3 types of data distribution shapes, such as positively skewed, symmetric, and negatively skewed. For positively skewed, the mode is the highest, followed by the median and mean. For symmetric, all the mean, mode, and median lie on the same point. That means the symmetric also can be known as normal distribution. And then for negatively skewed, mode is the highest and followed by the median and mean. So we can see for positively skewed, the data is right skewed, and then for negatively skewed, the data is left skewed. In this section, I will explain the 3 types of measures of variation. So we have range, variance, and standard deviation. For range, basically we minus the highest with the lowest. And then for variance and standard deviation, we can refer to this formula. So for variance, there are 2 types of formula. This is the variance for ungrouped data. This is the variance for group data. for standard deviation in both data, you can just square root the both variance to get the standard deviation for corresponding ungrouped and grouped data. Now let us see this example on how to calculate the sample variance and standard deviation for ungrouped data. Let's say we have these numbers, okay, and I will show you how to use the Microsoft Excel tool to calculate the variance and standard deviation. So let's say I have copied the data. To find the sample variance for the given ungrouped data, we can use the function of variance S, which represents the variance of a sample. And then we highlight the data. Then you get the answer. And then for the standard deviation, it will be the square root of the variance. So we use SQRT, which represents the square root. And then we pick this position. And then we press enter. Then you get the answer easily. And then to find the sample variance and standard deviation for the group data, we need to use the frequency and the midpoint. Okay, so the calculation will be a bit longer than the ungrouped data. So we do like this. Let's say I've copied the data from the slide, and then we refer back to the previous slide to see the formula. Okay, so this is the formula of variance for the group data. So from this formula, we need to find out the sum of fx square and sum of fx and the square of it and the n. The n basically the total frequency. So first we find the sum of fx square. So the formula is f times x times another x. And then you drag it down like this. And to find the sum of this fx square, you use sum function and you highlight all the data. Then the next one is the sum of fx and the square of it. And then the square of this one will be times itself. And then the n will be the sum of frequency. Alright. So the variance. Will be this one minus this one over this one divided by this one minus 1. Then you get the answer. So let us check. Yes, we get the same variance as the slide. And then to find the standard deviation for this group data, basically we just find the square root of this one, then you get the answer.